opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, Philippines. Maayong gabi sa Tibok, Mindanao, Visayas, ug sa Luzon. Naimbag nga rabi. Masanto siya sa labid si kayo amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Ito po inyong Republika. Ako si Erik Espina. When I was in Melbourne, Australia, I once asked my professor in the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, what is the difference between Melbourne and Sydney and the way it developed? And this is the way he described it. Sydney attempted to be everything to everybody, while Melbourne had a soul of its own. In a sense, tonight, this is what we're going to try to answer regarding how to best develop what I'd call not the second summer capital of the Philippines, what is now turning out to be, for me, the #1 summer capital of the Philippines, Tagaytay City. And we have an aspirant, a mayoralty aspirant from Cavite, none other than Deputy Speaker Boying Remulla. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yan. I will ask you that question. In your visioning of Tagaytay City, what should Tagaytay be? It should aspire to be everything to everybody because it is now a tourist area for practically almost the entire country, or should it maintain its own spirit, its own soul?
It should be a leader of the tourism industry.
Okay.
It should be the other part of the Philippines outside of Metro Manila, where people can go. Katulad ng Madrid, merong Barcelona.
Okay.
Ganon ang pagtingin ko sa Tagaytay. Kinakailangan meron kang sariling identity, tsaka ikaw ang leader ng mga nakapaligid sa'yo. Okay. O kaya kung hindi man, marunong ka makipagkasundo sa lahat ng bayan sa paligid mo. Para ang packaging mo, kompleto. Mula sa kasaysayan, sa kalikasan, kompleto siya.
I don't know whether I'll call you mayor or deputy speaker, no? But I have stopped going to Baguio. I prefer going to Tagaytay now. 35, 40 minutes, you're there. I like the drive. Are there lessons to be learned from how Baguio is being developed? Should we follow the way Baguio is being developed? Should we not follow the way Baguio is being developed?
Well, Baguio is very different from Tagaytay.
Okay.
Ibang-iba siya. First of all, Baguio became the first university town or university city outside of Metro Manila, within Luzon.
Yes.
So it became the center also of the north.
Yes.
Where everybody congregated.
Yes.
It had a very good plan, or a development plan, but not meant for the number of people who went in.
Yes, correct.
And the succeeding leadership did not
follow through.
Did not elaborate on the plan. Meaning to say, they just followed the same old plan, but the expansion was not in their eyes.
Okay.
That's why Tagaytay is different, because we're a very small city. We're 4,600 hectares, or maybe 4,000 usable space.
Yes.
But there's a way to plan it such that the other towns surrounding Tagaytay become relevant.
Okay.
Yes, you have to bring them into the equation, because Tagaytay cannot live by itself alone.
And this is now where you factor in your visioning of what Tagaytay should be. You're going to bring in all the other surrounding areas?
Yes, the whole Cavite, Batangas, and Laguna. A very simple example would be a historical trail that you can develop. From Tagaytay City, 15 kilometers down, you will find a place where Bonifacio was captured called Limbon, Cavite.
Okay.
Limbon, Indang, Cavite. Doon siya hinuli nung nakaaway niya sa Rinaldo. Pag bumaba ka pa ron, reverse to, no? Pag pagbaba mo, you will go to Naik, doon nag-Naik Assembly,
Yes.
kung saan sila huli nag-away.
Yes.
At kaya nga umakit ng Indang,
Yes.
si Bonifacio. Then you go to the west, ando na Maragondon, where Bonifacio was tried and eventually executed. If we go to the eastern side of Tagaytay, which is Laguna, the Rizal House is very near.
Yes.
Binyan.
Yes.
And then you can also say that Mount Makiling is around.
Yes.
Mount Makiling, University of the Philippines is there.
Yes.
When we go to the western side, we go down the ridge, ando ng Taal. We can go to the Basilica. The Basilica and the industry there. When you go down north, within Cavite, you can go to the Aguinaldo Shrine or Aguinaldo House. Meaning to say, Tagaytay, as it is right now, has become a one-night stand. But
Okay,
if
I
you're
like the way you
able-
say that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a one-night stand because after one night, what do you do?
Okay.
You enjoy the weather, you eat, you go home.
Yes.
O kaya mangangabayo yung anak mo, uwi ka na.
Okay.
Pero kung marami kang pwedeng gawin, organize ng tourism, and you lead the packaging, at least people won't have to be based in Metro Manila. They can be based in Tagaytay, which is far more pleasant than what Metro Manila has to offer right now in terms of ambience.
What you're actually saying is that you've already come up with a strategic plan, not only for Tagaytay
Yes, yes.
City, but Tagaytay is just the fulcrum of this entire visioning that you are.
It is a center. It is a center. It's a pivot. It's where you pivot from where you pivot everything. And not only that.
I hope you don't mind my saying this, but you sound more like a governor than now as a mayor,
Well,
which is not a bad thing. No? Pero,
I learned my politics in Malacanang.
Yes, yes.
National management staff.
of course.
So
But I think the people of Tagaytay also would like to find out what particularly do you also wish to do in Tagaytay
no,
City
that,
per se.
that itself will already develop.
Yes. Marami na makikinabang dyan, sigurado yan eh.
Kung matutulog sa inyo, imbis na 2,000 lang sa isang gabi, ang matutulog sa inyo, 8,000. Hindi, ang dami may trabaho. Ang daming gagastos. Di ba? Yun naman ang iniisip mo dyan eh. Tsaka mula Tagaytay kasi, within Cavite, marami kang pwede puntahan eh. Pwede ka pumunta ng Amadeo, may waterfalls dyan, or Indang, ganoon din. Same thing. Fresh Springs, from Tagaytay, within Cavite lang, marami na pwede puntahan talaga. Mount Palaypalay is the last rainforest na talaga nariyan pa na malapit sa Metro Manila. Mount Palaypalay, beside Nasugbu. You go down a little, you're in the white beaches of Nasugbu. Kaya nasa gitna ka eh. Tagaytay is the center. That's why you cannot but think about that. And when you're the center, it means people will go to you for the jobs. The jobs will come from you. You will be the one dictating the pace of where the jobs will go.
Let me ask you something, with these plans that you're undertaking, how do you solve the problem of traffic? Because obviously, you're now, if all this is going to happen, you can expect a lot of tourists, a lot of domestic activity happening within Tagaytay and within the periphery of Tagaytay City.
I looked at the traffic in Tagaytay. We average 13 to 14,000 vehicles a day. But that's an average, which means...
That's on a regular day. That's not on a weekend.
No, that's the average, including the weekends.
I can imagine the weekends.
The weekends, we go to 60,000
Oh my goodness.
to 70,000 vehicles, which means that the carrying capacity might be low, on the low side.
Yes.
So how do you avoid it? First of all, those coming from Batangas can pass other ways, not through Tagaytay. They don't have to pass through Tagaytay. Tagaytay will have its own, when you go to Tagaytay, you have your own purpose already.
It should be dedicated, that the road going to Tagaytay should be dedicated to people going to Tagaytay.
Yeah, and not only that, you can develop the periphery of Tagaytay
Uh-huh.
so people can pass around the periphery
Uh-huh.
so that nobody will just see, you won't only see the highway. You will see the communities within.
Uh-huh.
Kasi ang akala ng tao, yung Tagaytay highway lang, view,
Uh-huh.
yun na yun.
Yun, yeah.
Hindi.
Uh-huh.
It's 34 barangays. You have more than 60,000 people.
Uh-huh.
And they're very good people
Uh-huh.
na talagang magaling sa service industry.
Uh-huh.
Kaya, unang-una, we have existing roads on the western part. Coming from Batangas on the beach. Mama, nagaling ka na Cebu. Pwede mong gawing bypass eh. Meron na naman daan talaga eh. Kaya lang, walang nag-aaral at walang nagtuturo.
Do you see a bypass road? Or is there a way? Because
Meron na existing bypass.
kaya lang,
Iba-widen mo lang.
okay.
Iba-widen mo lang. Tsaka, probably yung rotonda kailangan mo lagyan ng flyover. On the eastern side, you need around 2 bridges and 1 more bypass. So that from Tagaytay Highlands, from the nearest point, you can cross over already to the Santa Rosa Road. And Casilla Road, down Kanlubang.
And you need the
can
help
only be
of a
developed.
congressman to build that, to widen that road, no?
Well, I think the tourism department
Can do that.
and the DPWH and the NEDA can include it in its plans.
Uh-huh.
Kasi pagka basta macro planning na ng tourism o kaya billions na involved, NEDA na ang papasok dyan, di ba?
I don't want to do a hindsight, but why wasn't it done previously?
Kasi naging ano siya eh. I don't know, it's a politika yan, no?
Oh, of course, that's why.
1954 pa kasi.
Oo.
Isang pamilya lang naman ang nagko-control yan.
Okay, oo.
And ang nangyari dyan, parang kingdom siya eh.
Okay,
So I'm actually challenging a 50-year dynasty.
okay.
Only with a 10-year break since 1954.
Uh-huh.
Yung nakalaban ko. That's why it's not easy. But if you show people you have a vision, you have a heart, and you have a good record, there's no reason why you won't be able to achieve the possible. Kasi politics is the art of the possible.
Yeah.
Yun naman ang iniisip mo dyan eh.
But it makes a lot of sense, no? If you're going to Batangas, para hindi na dumaan sa Tagaytay, meron kang ibang ruta dapat, di ba?
Oo, meron talaga. Actually,
Dapat lakihan na
actually
talagang...
meron na akong ibang bypass
Okay.
going to Nasugbu,
Oo.
passing through Magallanes, Cavite.
Okay.
It's being constructed right now.
Okay.
There will be 3 roads to Nasugbu already.
Okay.
Tagaytay is one.
Okay.
The other one is Ternate. The other one is Magallanes. Ternate is in my district also.
Oo.
After Puerto Azul, Marbella. After Marbella, Nasugbu na yan eh.
Oo.
But the nearer one
Oo.
is passing to Maragondon, Magallanes, Nasugbu.
Okay.
That's 23 kilometers shorter. 45 kilometers, 45 minutes shorter.
Why are you challenging a 50-year-old family, so to speak?
That's what life is all about. For us, like gladiators in the arena,
Okay.
we have to find a worthy battle. If you only go to battle because you want to be sure to win, then you're not worth worth fighting with. Di ba? Para bang
But there must be a but I think what drives you, there must be I'm sure it's the visioning here of what you wish to do for the city.
no, because I grew up going to Tagaytay.
Okay.
Although yung bahay namin mahigit 5 taon pa lang, almost 5 years pa lang
Okay.
sa Tagaytay. I got married in Tagaytay 30 years ago.
Okay.
Diyan ako kinasal.
Oo.
I spent my youth in a farm in Tagaytay.
Yes, okay.
Natuto ako mag-alaga ng kape.
Aha.
Yung halaman ng kape, kabisado ko yan.
Aha.
Kung paano buhay na magkakape.
Aha.
Natutunan ko yung multi-cropping
Aha.
kasama sa agriculture.
Aha.
Ang problema nga sa Tagaytay, they banished agriculture. Ginagawa niya Singapore. Hindi naman pwede Singapore ang Tagaytay eh. Kasi ang Singapore, yun ang unang ginawa ni Lee Kuan Yew.
Yeah, yes.
But it's not the way to do it in Tagaytay. Because Tagaytay, you need more green space
Correct.
more than ever.
Correct.
The problem with Tagaytay right now,
Is
ang taong bayan, pagkalabas mo ng barangay, wala kang pupuntahan. Wala kang plaza. Wala kang freedom park.
correct.
Wala kang non-material happiness.
Okay.
Kaya, di ba, pag pumunta ka ng Brazil, if you go to Ipanema and Corcovado,
Yeah.
ito yung highway, no?
Oo.
Sa kabila ng highway, dagat.
May walkway ka eh.
Oh, may walkway ka,
Oo.
pero dagat, no build zone.
Yes, yes.
You cannot build.
Okay.
People have the freedom to go to the beach.
Okay.
Nobody can put up a structure. Lahat kayo, nasa beach na kayo.
Parang plain sight yan, may view ka talaga.
Non-material happiness.
Oh.
May ibig sabihin, hindi mo kailangan pumasok ng mall para maging maligaya kayo. Pwede kayong kumain na malapit doon, basta malinis kayo. Maliligo kayo buong araw. Gusto nyo mag-sunbathing, mag-volleyball, mag-football. Ganun ang Brazil eh. Kaya yung Ipanema at Corcovado, walang sinabi sa Pilipinas yan. Kaya lang tayo, mahilig tayo maglagay ng bahay sa tabi ng dagat eh. Kaya nasisira yung bansa natin. Kung yun ang gagawin natin sa buong Pilipinas, yun talaga yung beaches, free access. Nako.
What are you saying if you're going to be mayor of Tagaytay City, actually? In short, hindi malls ang dapat puntahan ng tao. Dapat may plaza silang pupuntahan.
Malls will be a fact of life because you have to buy things.
Okay, kasi nandyan na yan.
Tsaka kailangan natin bumili ng gamit, di ba? Kaya lang, ang problema mo, ang tendency ng mall, I mean, they're good for the economy and they're also bad for the economy.
Yes.
When you go to a place where you have budding entrepreneurs, pinapatay niya ang
Correct.
entrepreneurship.
The local entrepreneurs are being killed actually.
So you limit that. You encourage people to come out with their own industries. And if the malls want to coexist with you, they'll have to carry some local products.
Maganda yung sinabi ninyo. Sabi niyo, we will limit that. Are we saying enough malls?
Well, ano yan eh? Demand-driven naman yan eh.
Okay.
Demand-driven. Pagka naman walang pumunta, wala namang tinatayo.
Market forces, you're saying?
Market forces.
Okay.
Kagaya ng, yan, I'll go back to Brazil. Pag pumunta ka sa Rio, iisa ang mall, pero 10 milyon ng tao. Iisa ang mall. Kasi nga, ang non-material happiness mo mataas. Marami. Kaya ngayon, ang inahanap natin, open spaces for people to go. Kasi maganda yung climate eh. How can you enjoy the climate if there's no open space?
How about more condominiums?
No. Absorptive capacity is the problem. How can you handle the water system? How can you handle the sewage system? Up to now, Tagaytay has no sewage system.
That was supposed to be my next question. Anyway, pero tignan mo, you've seen the development.
Yes,
fantastic.
Of course. I've been going around.
There was a time when there was a limit to the building height.
Only 5 stories dati.
Exactly.
Maximum, yeah.
That is why, if you notice, yung pati yung
actually 4 stories na.
yung casino dyan, binaba actually below road level yan para maaprubahan.
Hindi. Pababa talaga siya.
Pababa siya and kaya hindi na bilang yan na over the height limit. But all of a sudden, the limits are gone.
Naging negosyo ka eh. Wala planning eh. Wala kang land use plan.
Okay.
Paano mo ngayon masusunod? Wala kang long-term vision eh.
Are you going to have a land use plan?
Of course.
Okay.
The first thing that you do when you govern in an area is to make a land use plan. To make sure that people who go to you know what to do. Or what is allowable and what is not allowable.
Are we saying that what is happening in Tagaytay is it is the entrepreneur that's deciding where the land use will be?
No, it is...
Ganun ba? Is it the malls or the investors that's deciding where the land use will be?
Government is dipping its hands in things that they should be dipping their hands on.
Okay.
Ika nga, nakikisaw-saw sila, hindi naman nila tinapay yun.
Okay.
Saka hindi nila sawsawan yun.
So as it is ngayon, dapat limitahan na yun. But what do you do with, nandyan na yan eh. Baka the next one that...
Alam mo, ang problema ng Pilipinas, Eric, some people believe that progress is judged by buildings.
Correct. May mga taong ganun talaga.
Ayun ang problema natin.
Yes.
Pero, ang kayamanan kasi ng isang bansa, sa tao yan.
Correct.
Pag hindi mo na-develop ang tao, ano gagawin mo sa bansa mo? Di ba? Kaya, ang Tagaytay, tignan mo lang. 5 buwan lang naman ang tourism sa Tagaytay. 4 or 5 months maximum.
Okay.
The rest of it, dead days. Tsaka 3 days a week lang. 3 days a week, 5 months a year. Kaya ang dami mahirap. Wala silang trabaho.
Yan ang hindi alam ng publiko.
Oo, hindi nila alam yan eh. Kasi hindi naman sila pupunta dyan pag low season eh.
Correct.
Ang kailangan mo dyan, magde-develop ka ng activities, tsaka ng part of the culture, na para 12 months a year, pupuntahan ka.
May festival ba sa Tagaytay? Or dapat ang next mayor should create some kind of a festival so that people will go there?
I know what I want.
May plano ka na?
Yeah.
Na parang festival na people should go there on that particular day?
Actually, para sa akin, if there's a place to celebrate the artistry of the Filipino, it is the place. It's very good weather, fresh air, and if things will be affordable for the artist, then it's a good place to be. And the musicality of a Filipino should be exploited to the hilt in Tagaytay. When there's no view, puro fog, umuulan, ano gagawin mo? At least makikinig ka ng musika. Kasi may mga araw, pag umuulan na yan, pag tag-ulan, wala na view yan eh. Ano gagawin mo? O di, mag-enjoy ka ng music, mag-enjoy ka ng art exhibit, mag-enjoy ka ng place. Pwede mo naman gawin yan eh.
Yes, yes.
It can be done. And it's so near Metro Manila that we are really looking for a place like that.
Yes.
Kasi sa Metro Manila, it's crazy already.
Correct.
Oo.
In fact, if you will, I hope you agree with me, but people equate progress with replicating Manila in our urban centers.
Mali siya.
Haven't you noticed this?
Yes,
they're replicating they're replicating the mistakes of Manila actually.
Yes, actually, yes.
Yes.
Kaya nga you can only, ang tinatawag mo kasi dyan, yung ratio mo sa population, di ba?
Yes.
Yung density, you can only go so far. You cannot pack people together. Kaya dapat dyan, planuhin mo talaga. Planuhin mo. Saan ang residential, di ba?
Is there such a thing as overdevelopment?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Baguio.
Okay.
Baguio is overdeveloped.
Okay.
Nawala na ang plano. Di ba? If you look at the mountains, the hills of Baguio, dati puro pine tree yun,
Yes,
bata tayo.
Yes.
Ngayon, makikita mo lahat, brown, rusting, GI roofs. Puro ano na.
Pwede ba tayo magtanim ng pine tree sa Tagaytay?
Pwede.
Ah.
Nabubuhay naman doon.
But nobody has...
Actually, hindi naman kailangan pine tree eh. Ang dami-dami natin pwede itanim ng puno eh.
Kasi
Kahit kawayan, maganda kawayan.
sabi daw nila pine tree, masarap daw kasi ang amoy eh.
Oh, pwede. Isama mo ang pine tree.
Pwede,
Kawayan, maganda
pwedeng
rin.
proyekto mo rin yung pine tree.
Oo. Meron na, marami na ron. Marami na natatanim ng pine tree. Yung mga subdivision developers, puro pine tree. Ang dami na. It's just, naghanap na siya. Kailangan kasi ang tao sa amin, mahilig talaga. Kasi maganda yung lupa eh.
Okay.
Sayang naman pag puro pine tree ka lang.
Okay, yes.
Oo, kasi ang langka, ang papaya, ang pinya, tubo-tubo lahat dyan eh.
Marami pa bang lupa ang City Hall?
Pakunti ng pakunti.
Ganun ba?
Pati eskwelahan nga, binenta na eh. May isang eskwelahan sa Nyogan, wala, binenta
Owned
na.
by the City Hall?
Owned by the city.
Tapos binenta?
Binenta, privatize.
Bakit?
Ewan ko. Para kumita. Ewan ko sino kumita.
So, what?
Ngayon, yung Pigtig Grove is in danger. They already spun off a corporation probably to sell one part of it.
That is owned by the city?
Oh,
Hindi national yun?
Hindi. Binalik na ng Philippine Tourism Authority yan sa Tagaytay. Kasi pag-aari talaga ng Tagaytay.
So now they're intending to... When did they do this? Last
Ngayon
year?
Fast break nila, pero too late na. Hindi na siguro. Hintay nila matapos.
Baka kailangan nilang pondo dahil eleksyon.
Ewan ko eh. Dami na nila naku eh. Talaga naman kamo, sobra naman. Ang problema nga talaga, ang anti-ban motion ng tao, titignan mo sa Tagaytay. Tsaka titignan mo yung pangangailangan ng isang city para mabuhay, makahinga. Kailangan talaga iayos na sistema. Tsaka yung plano mo should always be based on the people living in the area also. Kung paano sila mabubuhay din. Kasi hindi naman sila pwedeng nakatambak lang. Alam mo ang Tagaytay. Ang ganda ng view, no?
Yes.
Nakita mo yung Pataal. Alam mo ba sa ilalim ng puro bahay yan? Sa dahilig. In the slopes. Ang tao sa dahilig, in English, you call that people from the slopes. So, nasa slopes lang talaga sila. Talaga, in danger sila anytime. Pag lumindol na malakas siya, pwede mahulog yun.
Or kung pumunta kang bulkan.
Well, kung ito kang bulkan, syempre.
And you'll have problems in terms of business. All of a sudden, the real estate prices are going to go down.
Hindi naman, I don't
Di
see
ba?
that happening.
It won't happen, ha?
Just like that.
Okay.
Kaldera na yan eh.
Okay.
Taan is already a caldera.
We're going to pause for a few reminders and we will be talking to Deputy Speaker Boyeng Remulla about what are his plans regarding, sabi niya, marami daw mga mahihirap din sa Tagaytay. Kasi tayo dito sa Metro Manila at sa ibang karating mga lugar, hindi natin nakikita yan. Ang iba ang nakikita natin, ang view lang, no? Sa pagbabalik po ng Republika.